So we talked earlier about Myles Garrett's comments about Shedeur and getting a crack at the starting job. I was a little thrown off today when I heard Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports go this hard in the paint on Shedeur's spot in the quarterback room.
He is the overwhelming favorite, Shedeur Sanders is, to be the Week 1 starter there with the Cleveland Browns. The front office wants him to be, and frankly, I don't know that there's ultimately going to be any competition for him in Cleveland to knock him off of that perch. Again, he's going to have to continue to earn it. The numbers last year were not good. We have to be completely honest about that. And you can talk about how many first-team reps he got and when he got them and all those things. He was one of the worst-performing regular starting quarterbacks in the NFL last year. But with a new philosophy there and with a full offseason of work as the guy, I can tell you that the overwhelming belief there in Cleveland is that he will be the Week 1 starter.
All right. I tend to believe things that are said the week of the Super Bowl do not carry water even 2 weeks later. Like the Mac Jones report.
Yeah.
The 49ers have no intention of trading Mac Jones. They love his pairing with Brock Purdy. I bet you could motivate the 49ers to trade Mac Jones. I bet you could.
Yeah.
And so if I believe that about the Mac Jones thing, I do have to take this with at least some grain of salt.
Or it's just where the Browns' original thought process is. Like, as of right now, it's not a crazy thought. I mean, maybe it might be crazy to think he's got, like, an overwhelming lead. But it's not a crazy thought to think that Jonathan Jones networked all week long and talked to some Browns people, and the thought that they had leaving that was Shedeur is going to get an opportunity unlike some of the other guys as of right now.
So I guess I can speak to the actual logic, which was if you improve the O-line in the wide receiver room and you still end up with a top 5, top 10 pick next year, well, then you can say we're a quarterback away because we've got all these pieces and the defensive pieces, and this quarterback room, as is failing, allows you a proximity to the next quarterback. I do understand that. There's another part of me that's like, yeah, I'm kind of in a let's let the offseason play out because I just think there's so many different quarterbacks that could hypothetically shake free. And I have interest in some varying degree of any of them.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Last March, Matthew Stafford almost shook free for like a 2-week stretch. Like, you just never know. And again, leading up to that, it wasn't talked about as Matthew Stafford, and then it existed. And so, like, it's the NFL. Like, these things, weird things always happen in the NFL.
Well, I mean, we talked about the Fernando Mendoza thing. Like, Nick Wilson does not think he's going to be somebody truly worth the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. But if they love him, I want them to be aggressive in trying to see if they can wedge his way out of there. Because if I'm wrong and they're right, Fernando Mendoza for this year's first and next year's first, I'm not saying that's what it would be, that, like, I can understand, I can wrap my head around that. Mac Jones for a 3rd-round pick. Like, there are so many trades out there that I can wrap my head around, and it just depends who do the Browns love and what's the goal. Is the goal to get competition for Shedeur? Mm-hmm. Is it to get somebody to take basically a fail-safe if Shedeur fails this year, obviously? So, like, I think I think the Browns are in a weird position where beggars can't be choosers, but you can't have a weird bit of flexibility to play, like, the quarterback relationship game of, all right, this guy's a fail-safe, but this guy's somebody that's going to be the 1A to Shedeur's 1B in a competition.
Yeah, and they're always going to do their due diligence. But if you were to ask me, like, right now, out of the 3 quarterbacks in that room, which one do I think the Browns do like the most, I still would say that is Shedeur.
I don't know. Between Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel, I don't really know.
We have so much time for them to figure it all out and them to have, like, the competitions and do everything like that. But if you told me right now which one do I think that Todd Monken, but then more importantly Andrew Berry likes the most, that answer is Shedeur.
I just think I don't know. I do think Andrew Berry has more love for Shedeur than I think people realize because that's all been put at Haslam's feet, almost to the point where it's almost like a lazy thought when I hear somebody to kind of put it up. Like, it can't just be Jimmy Haslam like Shedeur, and that's why they traded up to get him, right? But it's interesting. Like, the only thing I'm not certain about, but I'm most confident about is one of these 3 guys won't be here for camp.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that, too.
So that would lead you to believe it's Dylan Gabriel, but I don't know for certain. Like, because I don't know for certain with Todd Monken and how much say he has in this quarterback room. Mm-hmm. Maybe they actually do have a plan of, hey, Shedeur's not right, not Shedeur, Deshaun's not ready, or we're going to do something creative with the Deshaun contract. I have no earthly idea. But I do think I would be surprised if the most confident I can be about anything is I'd be surprised if these were the 3 quarterbacks and there wasn't at least one other person to make this more interesting.
I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. If you make me guess right now, I'd say Dylan's the one that's out. And then I'd also say it's either we draft a quarterback at some point in the 2nd to 4th rounds, or we get somebody, through free agency or whatever that is. But it'd have to be somebody that isn't I don't think we're getting Malik Willis. And by the way, if you got someone like Malik Willis, that changes what the framework of all this entire competition is too, because it wouldn't be that much of a competition.
216-474-0092. How much of a lead does Shedeur have in the quarterback room? I think this is the kind of thing that you put out there to present. This is our quarterback until something, I don't want to say better, until something that they think is better comes along.
I don't know how Jonathan Jones, he can speak to as many people as he wants, and I'm sure that's what this past Super Bowl was for him and the whole week leading up to it. I just have a hard time thinking that someone in the Browns told him that plan, unless the plan was, we're going to do this, and obviously we're shooting for 2027 in the draft class there. Mm-hmm. If that's the reality, they could lock this in right now, and Jonathan Jones could end up being 100% right if their thought process, and they don't ever say this to us fans the way they didn't say this to us in the previous, I don't know, at least last year and what their plan was or anything like that. But if their plan is to maybe not be as good this upcoming season, let the chips fall where they may. If Shedeur's great, then we got to readjust from there. But the idea is that you want to be in on the 2027 quarterback class. Then, yeah, you could make a reasonable assumption that Shedeur would be head and shoulders above because it fits everything they need and want.
I'm torn between, I understand sometimes you have to play the long game, and I understand why that would make sense, between just kind of letting it fall where it may, specifically with Shedeur and nobody else, that I just think I almost think that's disrespectful of the guys in that locker room.
This is why they don't talk this way in public.
Yeah. Well, no, but the ideas, you're right, they'll never come out and say it. But at some point, I'd like you to do your best to reward those guys in that locker room and give them a fighting chance. Because you didn't really last year. And that's not right. Right and wrong is obviously an objective thing here. But when guys are risking their knees, their necks, and their livelihoods for you, and you kind of have this laissez-faire 2 years in a row, we'll see where it happens, I think that's what losers do. And when I say losers, I mean losers from the top down. I don't want that's not right for how you handle guys in that locker room. I don't care how much they get paid. They deserve the right to go out there and put their best foot forward. Again, just speaking to the line of thinking you get.
No, for sure. And again, I just think the only way you can confidently speak the way that Jonathan Jones is thinking is if you've been tipped off or that's your thinking and your thought process that's what the Browns are going to do.